So just a gentle reminder, if you do have any questions, as I say, you can go to the VVox app, you can use the ID and just enter any questions you do have. We will be coming to the questions shortly. But over to you, carry on.
Hi, so my name's Rochelle. I'm a recent homeowner through Resi, so I'm here to essentially answer some questions
The
today,
truth.
and give you a bit more information, and obviously you can direct any questions that I don't answer through that. So I think the first question that I was asked was, did I know anything about shared ownership kind of before kind of starting the process? And the answer is no, really. I think I was looking through kind of normal kind of home search engines, like a lot of us do, and you suddenly see like a house for 130,000, a house for 125,000, and I was wondering within my area of interest, how is this so affordable? How is this so cheap? And it's then you see, okay, it's 25% share, it's 35% share. So, what does that mean? So I started looking up kind of what that means to get a bit more information. The Share to Buy website is a good kind of hotspot for you to start your search before you start looking at the different kind of property developers or housing associations to get a bit more information. So I think, that's a good kind of first place to start. I was thinking about what the next question is on the...
Sorry, carry
okay.
on. So have you heard of shared ownership? How much do you know about shared ownership? You've answered already.
As I said, I know a lot more now, but obviously the teams who are here today, and even in 6 months' time, if you're a bit overwhelmed like I was when I went downstairs, I didn't come to the home show, so it's really nice to know that there is the London Home Show where you can come as kind of a one-stop shop for all that information. But there's a lot of information kind of out there as well on the internet if you're not able to get to these events, to kind of search through as well. But I would kind of advocate coming to these type of events, even if you're not ready at the moment. Come get a bit of information today, go away, mull over it, and then in 6 months' time you can come again, get a bit more information, and just it's a process. Remember, this is a big investment. It's the same both for shared ownership houses as well as buying kind of houses off the open market. It's still an investment, so you need to make sure that you're adequately prepared for that, and that includes kind of equipping yourself with all the information that you need.
What was the biggest challenge for you going through the process?
I think the process was fairly seamless. Obviously, I can only speak of my housing association, so I was with Resi, so I can only really talk about that process. But it was, fairly seamless from start to finish. As Par's already said, it's quite quick, the process. So I viewed the property for the first time at the beginning of April last year, and I completed by the end of June, and then moved in. So it was really quite a quick process. But I think what made that process easy is, first of all, the sales consultant for the site that I was looking at, her name is Andrea Soundy, so she's actually here today downstairs, so you could go and speak to her. She was really, really good and really encouraging for the process. She had a lot of knowledge. If she didn't have the answer, she knew where to ask the next questions. And then, as has already been said today, make sure that you pick one conveyancee who have a good idea of or have a lot of experience in shared ownership. So I went with SDC, and they're here, so you can talk to them or talk to any of the other ones. You've got to pick somebody who knows the process, otherwise if it's all alien to them and it's all alien to you, you're going to be kind of misdirected, and you may end up, as was said today, spending more than you want to. Again, don't just go for the cheapest one out there, go for people who've got the actual knowledge so that it makes the process easy for you. And then again, with the mortgage brokers, pick again people who have a good knowledge of the shared ownership, Sensio being one, so that you again have people who have the knowledge, who can give knowledge to you, so that when you are going through the process, you don't feel lost, and you don't have somebody going, I don't really know how to answer that question. You've got people who can direct you to someone or can answer the questions directly.
Thank you. So you actually bought a resale, and that was done from viewing to completion in just 2 months?
Yeah, so I bought a new home. From viewing to completion, it was just under 8 weeks.
Wow, so that's really, really quick turnaround. So for the people that are maybe a bit worried about the deposit, are you happy to share how long it took you to build up your deposit?
Yeah.
Did you use a gift to go through your purchase, and what was that like for you?
So, everyone's circumstances are obviously very different. I was very lucky to be able to kind of live with family whilst saving up a deposit, which meant that I didn't need to continue to fork out rental costs whilst trying to save for a deposit. So I think from that point of view, I think because I started the process probably like thinking about that I might want to get something, I was actually looking to autumn 2024 and actually ended up completing like in summer 2024. So I think making sure that you get all your ducks in a row and making sure that from your income, make sure your job is stable. If you're looking to move jobs and you're also looking to get a property, that's probably not the right time. You need to feel secure in everything, and as has been said already, looking at things like your credit history. I've not got a credit card, I've not rented in the UK, so for me, like, I didn't feel like I had very much on there, but doing things like if you're able to when you're purchasing things online like clothes or whatever it may be, getting it in like 3 installments. So, you know, there's many different schemes that you can buy things. That's a good way to kind of build up a kind of credit history with, okay, I split a £50 payment across 3 and I paid it on time. That showed that I was able to pay it on time, to try and build up that kind of credit history so that when you get your credit score, it's high, because you want it to be high, because that's what gives you a good reputation. That is what will give you the pick of the lot when you're going to your various mortgage brokers. They look at your credit history and say, is this person, the best way to think about it if you don't know is this person worth taking the risk on? Because that's what they're doing. The people who are offering you a mortgage are taking a risk on you. So you need to make sure that you put your best face forward for them to say, you know, you can take a risk on me. I'm someone who will pay on time. I'm not going to default. Okay, so if you've got a history of perhaps not being able to pay things on time, this is the time over the next kind of 6 months to a year where you need to clean those things up to make sure that you are putting your best face forward. That is what I would say.
And thank you so much. Did your new home and the area you chose to live in, was that dependent on your affordability, or did you start, you know, this is my area, this is where I want to be, you know, what led you?
So my first thing was looking at my area of interest first. So for me, you know, we've got a young family, we've got a 4-year-old, so looking at things like schools in the area, whether they met our kind of what we needed, being close to family for family support was also really important. So looking at, it was more the location that got me first before the affordability. I knew I probably didn't want to live in London. For some other people, that is living within London is kind of like their deal breaker. They need to live in London because their job is in London, etc. So I think you've got to find out what is your priority. Have a priority list before you start looking into things, because if it's how good is the kitchen, how big are the bedrooms, those are quite superficial things for you to kind of lock things in on. You need to, I think a location is really important, not just for when you're actually getting the property, but also the location. You've got to look around. What are other properties in the area with a similar size? What are they going for on the open market? Because if you're going to look to, one, if you're looking to staircase all the way up to 100%, or two, if you're looking to see if you were to have a resale, if you were going to sell and move somewhere else, you want to make sure that you are putting yourself within a good competitive location to allow you to do that, because there is a possibility that you can make a small amount of money by reselling your shares, but you know, you've got to look at the market of the things around you first. So the location is really important.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. That's all we have time for, so we are going to go over to questions now. So thank you so much for your personal info.